Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy BIGANT back with another episode, a back to back episode of the Can I Kick It podcast. Today's guest goes by the name of Casey, aka Kraze. Go ahead, say what's up to everybody, big dog.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's good to be here.
For sure. I met you through Angel. Was a very long, interesting night. I don't think we remember each other.
Not too well, yeah.
um,
More the
yeah,
beginning of
but
the night than the end.
Yeah, most definitely, right? We was catching a vibe, talking shit, talking about music, getting music done, trying to get music done, listening to beats, man, you name it. Um, it was a whole vibe. It was a cool vibe. I learned through him that you're an upcoming rapper, uh,
Hmm.
which is dope. You told me recently that you just made the move from Virginia to Florida. So
Right.
if you can't just touch on that, if there was there any particular reason, was it to get out of Virginia, job opportunity?
Almost every reason you could think of, dog. So basically, I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, which
Okay.
I'm sure you know some people know a little bit about that place. Um, but basically, what had happened was like last year, I was living with my girl and like a few other people, and then shit just went crazy. A lot of crazy stuff went on. A lot of drugs, a lot of police involved with things.
Mm,
And I ended up losing my girl, my house, my car, and my job all within a week.
damn.
So yeah, so then I was like, nah, I was driving my Suburban at the time, so I was like, you know what, like fuck it, because I got family down here. My mom grew up down here. I've been coming here since I was 2, so I was like, my grandma's still here, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna make the move, see if I can find a good
Yeah.
job, whatever. So I had fixed up my car, all this and that. 2 days before I was gonna leave, the engine started knocking. It just blew up on me. So I was like, well,
Damn.
so I hopped on the bus with about 200 cash, and about 6 7 months now. Here I am. So.
And how do you like the changes? A good change for you?
Oh, most definitely, man. Cause I mean, mostly because of my job, man. Especially with the coronavirus, man. I got a job with the state. I got lucky. Not a lot of people can say that right now. Especially like every other job I had before this, I wouldn't be at right now, simply because of the situation that the world's in. So yeah, it's nice, man. I got my own car now, another one. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the weather's nice.
Yeah, that it is. I mean, right now it's getting up to the hurricane season, starting to come, trickle through. But it's raining right now. But usually it's hot as hell and very sunny. So I can agree on the weather part. I've been living here all my life, so
No
um,
doubt.
I haven't really moved much since well, obviously since I was born here. Ventured out of the state a couple times, vacations, stuff like that. But I'm a Florida boy to the core. Got too much family here, and as you said, you have a state job. I do also work for the city. I've had a city job since I was 21. Worked for two different cities, Fort Lauderdale currently, and I used to work at Lauderhill. Um,
Okay, I'm in
so
plantation.
yeah, so I can definitely vouch for making that decision of doing something job related as big as that is, because not only that, you work for the state and the city, you got the benefits and everything that go with that, so that's always a plus.
It's crazy. It's
Longevity is
crazy, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
longevity is where it's at. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's hard to find stuff that you can piece together and actually do and not mind doing it because obviously if you're not doing what you love, you're just working. So unfortunately that's where we're at in life until we get to that point in time. But getting situated early, because you're also younger than me,
Yeah, I'm
young buck.
22.
Yeah, so that plays key. That's definitely the way to go. So
I just had to get away from
great.
it, man. And just get away from all the like the abuse, the drugs, like just all the craziness that was going on. You know, like I just knew I had to do something better with my life. and I still do the music as a hobby, as like a side thing, you know. Because I mean, I work on the canals. I get in the boat, get in the trucks, and clean up the canals, or take care of all the chemicals, whatever. But I mean, it's cool. But I ain't doing this for the rest of my life, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You never know where it could go. So I mean, like, as long as you got the foot in the door, you bringing home money, you got insurance. That's where it's at, bro. As long as you got those things squared away, I mean, the rest follows. So you always have time to grow.
Definitely,
Like I said, especially since you're so young. So take it while you can, because that's the best thing that I did was get into a city related job, and I was able to learn and get licenses and progress, and
well, I
I can
like it
turn
because
around and
there ain't no pressure. I mean, you work for a
yeah,
business,
yeah.
and it's you make money. You got to make money. The money's there. It's government. They're not gonna. I mean, you need something, they can buy it. You're gonna get the same paycheck, always on time, when it's due. You know what I mean? There's no bullshit like that with this.
Yeah, yeah, facts. So, since we already touched on the fact that you're an artist, an upcoming
Yeah.
artist, let's talk about the type of music that you create. Like, what's the background? Like, what got you into making the music you make now?
What got me into making music? I mean, well, I mean, we can take it way back to when I started listening to hip hop, or I mean, because basically it was like as a kid, I did poetry a lot. I always did poetry in school. Did like little
Yeah,
poetry competitions. I think
yeah.
I ended up doing like I think I ended up getting like three first places, two second places, and one third. Like
Oh,
the
you
6 years
you was
I
out there
did it.
showing your ass.
Yeah, man, it was cool, man. And I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, and the way school was for me, like I was homeschooled until fourth grade. And fourth grade, I went to a private school, and then fifth grade up, I went to a public school. So I've kind of seen like all three. Um, but poetry, man, poetry was big for me because I didn't even think about doing music, but I always liked performing poetry. I always was kind of cool with like public speaking. I know a lot of people have a hard time with that, and I get it. Like it was just something I was good at, you know. Um, but
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember like when I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, and I was actually here in Lauderdale visiting family, and my cousin put a bunch of songs on my computer without me knowing. And this is back when
Yeah.
I mean like laptops were, you know, you just battery lasts 3 4 hours. So for the three or
Hmm.
four hours I
Yeah.
had it going back home in the car, which is like a 12-hour drive, I was listening to what he had put on there, and I think it was like Ludacris. I think that was like the first rapper I really started listening to was like Ludacris. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
I was like this music, this is different. This is cool, because before then I listened to mostly a lot of jazz and a lot of classic stuff my parents listened to, like the Beatles, Karen Carpenter, just kind of like 70s,
Yeah,
80s,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Oldies.
Yeah, for sure. But I got into like Ludacris and basically like this is when DJ Khaled, Rick Ross was killing it. Plies was doing his thing, and I started listening to all them and looking them up on YouTube, and that was the first kind of hip hop I really started listening to, and I was like, yo, this is cool. Um, but later on, as I got into high school, I met some people who actually worked at studios part time, like outside of school, and I was like, we used to like freestyle during school or whatever, just dumb shit on the bleachers or whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna go in and make a song. And so I think it was like my
Yeah.
junior or senior year, I did my first song, and that's when I started like consistently starting to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, like even if it's just for fun, I'm gonna be doing this like when I have extra money, extra time.
Yeah, I can definitely side with you on the high school story. I remember, and Angel can vouch for me too. Like, we had the whole little music group where we would get the pens and the pencils and bang on the table and then make a beat.
Yeah, no
And
doubt. Yeah, the pen. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah, and then you'd have the people try to battle each other and kick freestyles and whatnot and stuff like that. And that was before we had the ability to make music. And like I didn't know anybody with a studio, and then like a lot of people know like me through the Angel podcast, where we actually linked up and made music together, and did stuff that way. And I think Angel, little do people know, I think Angel was the first person beside myself when I got set up that actually had a studio that you can record at, and
Yeah, he's the
that was
first and
that was
only person. He was the first and only person down here that I've done music with, or met with the studio. I haven't needed to go anywhere else. You know what I mean?
yeah, he's definitely he's definitely progressed, and he's upgraded, and he's always constantly learning. So like he's I put like I said before, I put him in a different category because like he's hitting it from like all different angles. So like you can't go wrong with somebody like Angel. You know, not only that he's an artist, but he's also a producer, and then he's also a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he knows the angles. You know, so it's like you're not getting one of the three, you're getting all three. So that's also dope that you guys ended up crossing paths and stuff like that from moving all the way from Virginia, not knowing
yeah.
nobody but your family, and then you run into somebody like Angel, and he basically has everything that you need. He
Hey,
has people that knows
shout out our
people.
homeboy Johnny. Yeah, that's my coworker at my job. He been friends with Angel, and that's how I ended up meeting him through Johnny. Shout out Johnny one time.
See, there you go. Shout out Johnny. I don't know you, but I'm giving you a toast virtually through the
Johnny.
podcast.
Yeah, that's that dude.
So that's cool. That's cool. So making the move to Florida, is it a vast difference from living up there compared to how it is down here? Like, like is it more like one-sided, like because I never been to Virginia, so like I don't know, like if is it more open countryside, or was it like
It's
city?
it's Man, y'all got some big ass lizards, man. Like that's the first thing I can say. The biggest thing that stands out is the iguanas everywhere. They're like squirrels running around. That's crazy. You would
Yeah,
never
yeah.
see that up north. Um, but there is a big difference. In Virginia, people don't want to help you. There's a lot of hate. Anybody that's from Virginia will tell you everybody hates on. I mean, it's everybody. No one wants to, even your own friends, whatever. I mean, even people that are from Virginia won't claim Virginia. Like Chris Brown. Like, when was the last time you heard him shout out Virginia? 07,
Man,
08?
it's
I mean,
been a while, yeah.
Pharrell doesn't talk about it. Pharrell's from Virginia Beach. Pusha T's from Virginia Beach. He don't talk about it. Timbaland still kind of mentions it. Missy Elliott, she kind of does what she does. But I mean, my city was popping 20 years ago. I was 2, so and then everything just kind of fell apart, and there hasn't been nobody new in Virginia Beach or in the area except for Dram, Big Baby Dram. I know you heard of him. He had a few hits. He's from
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I think Hampton or Newport News, and then you got Lil Tracy, who was Lil Peep's homeboy. He was from Virginia Beach. He went to a high school down the street from mine. But I mean, other than that, no, man. I mean, it's colder. Um, there's a lot you can't go and buy liquor like anywhere really unless it's a state-run store. It's only open from 8 to 8. Like you can't go to the grocery store buy liquor. I mean,
Hmm.
they don't have drive-through smoke shacks, drive-through really anything. Um, you gotta pay property taxes on your car and have a front license plate and pay for an inspection every year. And the highways only go up to 55 for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
it's if you look up like what people say about Virginia, they'll tell you it's one of the worst places to drive a car. There's cops everywhere, always waiting to give you a ticket for going 7 over, 7.5
Damn.
under even. I mean, it's dog. I got some dumbass tickets just for like for nothing, man.
Yeah,
It's
I think we all have those stories.
yeah, yeah. It's Virginia. I mean, Virginia as a whole is beautiful, especially the Blue Ridge, Appalachia. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to go back and live there ever again. I mean, Virginia Beach is right on the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, and that's where I grew up, like right there, like on the Atlantic Ocean, on the beach. It's mostly military and tourism. If you don't join the military, and your family doesn't have money, and you don't own a hotel or some kind of like something. I mean, we don't even have casinos there, so it's just like there's not much. You can't really come up there without like a college degree. I mean, even city jobs. You go to a city job, get a drug test, this and that. All right, we'll start you at 10.45 an hour. I mean, this is like
Yeah.
minimum wage is 7.25, dog. I mean, And I ain't gonna shit on my state or my city like that, but I mean that's on paper, Florida's like significantly better. I mean, for almost everything you could think of, really. And most people here, I met a few people here who've grown up here their whole lives. Oh, I want to get out of Florida. I want to go up north, and I'm just like, man, y'all don't realize how good you have it right now. Like, it's it's way better, man. Like real talk.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how like there's such a vast difference in like different states and different cities and everything like that. Like I've had a couple of homeboys move from Florida more up north, like Carolina and like even like upper northern Florida,
Mhm.
like Jacksonville and stuff like that. Even
Tallahassee.
Orlando. Yeah, even
Okay.
Orlando, 3 hours away, you know. It's
Yep.
crazy how like stuff starts changing, like the scenery, the countryside, the buildings, you know, the
I lived in the
people.
country, the city, and the suburbs. Um, I've lived all three different places in Virginia, so I've kind of experienced like all that. I used to live on a farm. I lived like in the city part, and then like the house I grew up in for most of my life was like in a kind of suburb. But everything's kind of suburbs or strip malls out there. There's really no real like city. There's no tall buildings. There's no real like built up area with skyscrapers or anything even close to that. I mean, and another thing I was gonna tell you that I think is funny. I was talking with some people who have guns. You can open carry in Virginia, so everywhere you go, all the time you
Yeah.
see people just walking around with pistols, just out in the open, and it's completely like it's legal. No one can do nothing. You come down here, nobody has that shit. I mean, you walk into Walmart, you can buy a gun and just wear it out. I mean,
Damn.
it's weird, man. It took me some getting used to. Even when I started noticing, I was like, is that a cop? Oh no, that's just somebody just walking around with their gun. Fuck it. you know,
Damn.
you
Yeah,
got
it's
coyotes.
crazy.
Yeah.
Coyotes. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how every state has different laws and differs, like how people can, you know, just go about their days, like you know, just normally and stuff like that. You know, it's crazy how you can
Yep.
come from one state and it's like you see 45s and Glocks on people's, you know, hips like all the time. Then you come down here, it's like people just wide open, like with nothing, like you know what I mean? It's like
Oh, they
it's
got them.
weird.
At least you can get concealed carry here, and like some cities, like I think like New York and LA, like they make it so hard. It takes like years to even get a concealed carry. I mean,
Yeah,
but it's like we're all in the same country, dog. That's kind of crazy. I mean, every state's gonna be different, but there's some things I feel like should be a little more uniform across the board. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. We're gonna step away from the where you from conversation. We get back into the music.
All right.
What coming from Virginia, like you named a couple of artists already.
Mhm.
Who's like your top influencers like right now to make hip hop music, rap music?
Man, like you talking about Virginia artists or just people I grew up listening to that I feel?
You can name people from Virginia if you like it, just all around. We can keep it all around. You know,
I mean,
no boundaries.
number one, I mean Pharrell's our god, bro. Pharrell Williams, like that's our god out there, dog. Like he's like everybody fucks with Pharrell. I mean he just mad love. I mean every time I see him once or twice, I mean he's just a cool dude. You know,
Yeah,
he's a big inspiration, not only to like me, but just I feel like a lot of people because he's done so much. But unless you know, you're never gonna hear about how he came up or what he did when he was younger in high school when he met Pusha T. I mean, Pusha T's another one that's just a dope artist. Malice, now he's no Malice, but the Clips is great. I mean, I loved Mac Miller like growing up. Um, he
yeah.
was always somebody I've been listening to since 2010 maybe. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I also really like Wale, like older, a little bit older Wale, but he's still, I mean, he's still doing his thing. It's just most of the songs of his that I really like that really I was like, oh damn, were
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
older, but and of course the greats. You got Eminem and Biggie, Pop, Wayne. You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just people like that. I've always appreciated artists that have a lot of like technical skill, like and that can just do things where you just have to sit and you're just like you rewind the song and you have to be like, yo, what the fuck did they just say? Like Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, hold
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
let me hear that again because I just got lost for a second trying to figure out the last bar while he's saying the next five. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like bar centrated people. I'm kind of the same way. I kind of drifted away from like the technical side. If that makes any sense. I don't really look for people to be super bar heavy. I believe it's a dope attribute if you can be, but I'm more into the music for like the stories. Like I wanna hear like what's going on rather than hit me with like 20 different types of bars that go straight over my head. But not necessarily saying that it's a bad thing.
Mhm.
I just think like I think outside the box when it comes to like saying like, because to me like there's a big difference between like a rapper and an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like artist has a little bit more uh
Yeah, I
uh
mean,
funk,
I'm also saying like the people that can do both are also
yeah,
like
yeah,
some of my
yeah.
favorites, like Nas, Jay Z. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
Tech
I'm
Nine.
just yeah, Tech Nine too. Yeah, I'm just giving like an example on my behalf. Like,
Mhm.
since you already touched on the bar subject, like I like the people that can tell you like a story, bro, and you sit
Right.
there and you listen to it, and it's like you can see it and you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's like to me,
Mhm.
that's more potent than just like flipping a couple of bars and making me say, oh wow, or oh we. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not hard to like rap fast and make it sound good, but a lot of the times they're just saying a lot of nonsense. Like I always use Logic as an example. Like 10 years ago, 7 years ago, Logic was just. I mean, you listen to something like, I mean, just some of his songs, bro, were just so like well done, and they had that old school vibe, but that new school vibe. And then as he's grown, he's gone farther away from more that storytelling classic feel and more to just like Eminem. I feel like kind of the same way too. It's just more about how many words can I fit into this song in ways that are
yeah,
impressive versus what am I saying. You know, that's not a bad thing necessarily, but there comes a point where you're just like you get a little tired of that after a while.
yeah, yeah. I still am. I'm a big Logic fan. I believe I believe he kind of gets a bad rap for being repetitive.
Hmm.
Um, which you can tell. He was great with his first two albums. Because
Oh yeah,
obviously he
Under
was he was
Pressure.
new. Yeah, because he was new and you never heard that kind of music before. But when I first heard Logic, the comparison to him and Kendrick was automatic. He sounded just like Kendrick Lamar, um,
Mhm.
which
See,
isn't a
I always
bad
I
thing
always
because it.
felt that way about Anderson Paak. I never got into him too much because he always just sounded like Kendrick too much for me. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's just me, but um, I don't
a
like
little bit,
artists
a
that
little bit.
sound like each other, and unless they're from the same area when it makes sense. Like in Virginia, people are like they'll be like, yo, like everybody sound like Kodak Black. And I'm like, no, everybody sounds like they're from Broward. you know, like
Yeah,
there's a difference, but
they listen to Kodak in Virginia.
I mean, I did. A few people did. I remember I got joked one time for playing Plies. No one fucks with Plies in Virginia. But they listened to
Damn.
Kodak. It was like during that SoundCloud era because that was right when I was like ending high school. Like back when X had just came out, Ski had just came out, Smoke Perp, Lil Pump, and Kodak
Yeah,
was
yeah,
was still kind of bubbling and shit. I mean, we liked some of that. I mean, at least me and the people I hung out with liked some of that, like kind of that more underground, grimy kind of feeling music because it was different. And when you found one of those songs, most other people didn't know about them. So like you had songs like Young Brats or like just all kinds of songs that were from the SoundCloud underground that you would bring and you would play around people and be like, yo, what's the name of that song? You try to Shazam it. You're like, you can't even find it because it's like a little YouTube thing that no one else has or SoundCloud or whatever. So,
yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember when. they all were like just online rappers, and then they actually broke out and got their little bit of moment to shine.
Mhm.
I guess we're still waiting on ours because I've been doing this shit for way too long.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been like 5 years, but I haven't really taken it seriously until recently because there just wasn't. I didn't have any money to really fund. I mean, studio in Virginia. I mean, I'd go to a lot of different places. I mean, I paid 30 an hour before for a decent studio, and I paid 45 an hour before for somebody's closet. I mean, and like I said, minimum wage is 7.25. There ain't that like people don't have money to spend on studio, so we're more concerned with getting food or fixing our cars or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
just not
definitely
easy.
it's definitely expensive, man. It's definitely
Yeah,
expensive. Yeah, it took me a while to get enough funds and actually go in depth to get where I'm at now, and that I haven't upgraded in a while. And um, life comes fast and life hits you hard sometimes, and then you're just like, I want to get this for the studio. It costs $700. Then when I turn around, I got rent, car payment,
yep,
insurance right around the corner. It's like, which one do you prefer? Do you want to
yep.
get something for the studio, or do you want your car repossessed? Because that's what it's gonna come down to, bro. And
I
it's
used
like,
to have a Pro with Beats headphones and an Audio Technica 2020 mic with the stand and everything. I ended up having to like pawn my laptop and everything just to pay like rent and get groceries and shit. I mean, and we were still robbing from Walmart. Like, and we did that for a few months, and then once that was gone, my MacBook was gone. It was like, we were back to square one for me and all the
yeah,
people
it's
I made
it's
music with.
definitely expensive, man. It's one of those things where it's like you got to get to a certain point to where you're comfortable with your finances, and then just get the like kind of, I wouldn't say you have to, but like you want to get the closest to top quality so you don't have to come back and
Yeah,
upgrade as sooner as you would if you bought like the cheapest stuff, because everybody knows the cheaper stuff is not going to last long. And god forbid if you move and your monitors fall out the truck, or they bang up here, or your laptop gets stolen and stuff that you can't really control. But I've had the speakers you see in Angel Studio are the same speakers I have, and I'm the one who put them on to the Yamahas. And I have the eights and the fives. So I
I
have
mean, yeah,
the smaller
Yamaha
one.
makes good quality, a lot of good quality stuff. I mean, I played the trumpet for 5 years. I had a Yamaha trumpet, and that's like a really good quality music. I mean, they make a lot of good musical instruments. The
Yeah,
speakers would
yeah,
go
yeah.
along with that.
Yeah, because I was on the, because down, I don't know if it was down here or just in general, like everybody was on the KRK like wave. Like I don't know if it's because
Are those the yellow janks?
exactly, that's what exactly what
Yeah,
I was
yeah, the
gonna
yellow
say.
one. Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
still
don't
on
know if it
that in
was.
Virginia.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the way they looked,
It's the
because
way
I
they
mean they
look.
look, yeah, they look decent, but like
Yeah,
I've heard them, and they're like, they're okay. But then when you turn on the Yamahas, it's like, bro, like you
yeah.
can hear the pristine, like
The
I
nuances.
paid, yeah, I paid an extra $200 for my head, my speakers, and like I can hear it and I can feel it.
It's an
What's
investment,
what I'll show
dog.
you. Oh yeah, most definitely. What I share another little story with Angel. Before you actually you came down, and I met you. I think maybe like a month or two before, we were working on some music or something at the studio. I can't remember. I think we were doing I think we had dropped this song before the song. I don't know if you heard it. It's a song on the SoundCloud called No Love. Um
I think he
and
showed. I think that
bef-
was one of the first ones he showed me. Was it on the Outsider
No,
or
it was
no?
it was before the Outsider. Yeah, it's just like some random shit we made up. One day it was me, him, and one of his homegirls were there. One of his rapper homegirls, and I gave him
Okay.
a beat. I put on the beat, and we were just vibing to it. Came up with an idea and recorded it. And I remember, because I told you me and him have the same monitors. I asked him, I was like, you can change the settings on these, right? And he goes, what do you mean? He's like, they have EQs on the back, like switches for the balances. He goes, no, I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, man, hold on. He's like, I was like, you hear this song now? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, we're gonna vibe to it for like a little while, and then I'm gonna switch it up and I'm gonna show you where they should be at, or like where I put mine's at, because we have the same ones. So we listened to the song for like 35, 45 seconds. I said, okay, pause it. I go to the back of the left speaker and then the back of the right speaker and change up the balances and the EQs in the back. And then I said, okay, now restart the song and listen to it again. And when he played the song back, he was like, holy shit. I was like, yeah, bro, you didn't know about that? And he was like, nah. I was like, yeah. I was like, you can change the EQs from the highs and the lows of the ohms, and
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like an
switch
amp
it out to
in like a
yeah,
car
you can
setup.
switch it out to where you can even out the sound so you're not, too bass heavy and your mix is off. So it's like the way I have it, I have the bass flat, so your low end is not coming in too high or too low. And then I added your highs in mid and then your highs at the highest. So you can take advantage of not only that the bottom half of your monitor is giving you that low sound, your highs are coming through because you don't have the extra set of the Yamaha fives like me. Because
Right.
my fives are all my mids and highs. They have no low outputs. I have them all on zero, but they're all my highs and mids. And then my big ones are all set for my low frequencies. So I have all of the angles covered with each independent monitor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because everything you do on whatever program you use is going to be reflected in the speakers. I mean, the output.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, most
you
definitely.
you
So
want you want that to mix right for sure.
yeah, yeah, because I don't like mixing on headphones. I can't do it. I
Yeah,
can't
I
do it.
know a
Not
lot
on.
of people that do, and it's like half the time you play the song in your car if you got subs or something, and then there's like no bass, or the bass damn near blows out your shit, and it's like, well, they mixed it on with some headphones that actually, had a good, good quality to them. But I mean, like you said, the Yamaha is even better, something that you can really hear.
Yeah, I can never mix on headphones. I tried it. I just can't. I like to hear. I just sit in front of my speakers. I got them angled at ear level. I'm ready to go. I turn them some bitches up, and I'm mixing with the monitors.
Right.
So I've been doing that. It's hard to mix on headphones. I know they have like applications and stuff. Like I've been reading about newer applications like plugins and stuff that you can put in your DAW, and they're basically like mixing for headphones, if that makes any sense. I was looking into it, but I was like, you know what? I've been doing this rap stuff for 15 years. I ain't never ever gonna put on a pair of headphones and mix and
Yeah,
save
I
my
don't
save
blame you,
my
man.
money.
I mean, I honestly don't even know too much about that. I'm a writer. I mean, that's like my main thing. I mean, I think it's interesting, and it certainly takes a lot of like time and effort to get really good at producing and being able to mix a song
Yeah, yeah,
down and
yeah.
record somebody. But I just never got into it, and I still haven't really uh had any interest. I like writing. I like writing, and I like recording. And that's my main thing.
Yeah, yeah. I started out the same way, just straight making music, and then unfortunately, when we all got older and life came, swooped up the other members of my group at the time. Um, I had to learn everything from square one. So
Mhm.
I had to YouTube videos, tutorials, going to studios, Angel, and I had to pick everything up from scratch, you know?
Mhm.
And it's definitely difficult balancing it too. So like if you can ever deal with somebody that can do both, it's like truly a blessing because like there's so much to learn mixing and mastering and producing. It's like you learn something new every single time you sit down. It's like different EQs, then you got different plugins, then you got different
Right.
applications, then you got different sounds, different ways to mix and master. He might do something different to give you something different. It's definitely tricky. So being a rapper is always the easy way out. You just show up like, "What's up, bro? I got my book. I'm ready to go, fam." You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's put on my headphones and haul ass, and that's what I used to do. I used to go to my brother's house, put my headphones on, write my 16, whatever, how many songs we're doing, one or two, go boom, 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 record it, then I'm on the Xbox,
But
just
you
doing my
meet a
thing.
lot of people that are heavy into producing but would never rap. You meet a lot of people that only rap and would never get into producing. There's some people who just one or the other. They just for whatever reason they just can't do it, or they're just like it's just not me. Like I'm specifically on this side of what I do.
Yeah, and that's funny too that you say that because in my eyes, as long as I've been doing it, I think it's a lot easier for a producer to get in the game than it is a rapper. If you
Yeah,
if you
probably. Yeah.
if you know what you're doing and you got talent behind the keyboard, and you can make and produce killer beats, or killer you can make a killer sound, or you can do a lot of mixing and mastering. It's a lot easier because then because rappers always gonna need somebody to produce you know
Yeah, you'll have more money coming in consistently from an earlier stage than somebody who just raps.
yeah, and then a rapper can't do anything without a beat or a studio
Absolutely.
or a
Yeah.
producer, so it goes hand in hand. But if
Yeah.
I was to if I was to rewind the clock about 10 years, man, I tried even harder to like learn at least a little bit, or at least half of what like most people know about producing. Because you can always turn the table and say, I'll take a break on rap and let's see if I can produce or make these beats. And
Right.
you may start making beats, and then you start out small, $10 for whatever beat or whatever, and then once you start building up that traction, you just start raising the price, and then next thing you know, you're selling beats for $100 a pop, and then you take off from there, and then all it takes is for somebody to come through that's got a little fame, a little bit of power, and then say, hey, I like this beat, or I like this beat, or I'll buy 3 of these beats, and how much do you charge? And they got guap, so you're gonna be like, oh, 5,000 or something, give me 5-6 grand
Straight
for the
up.
beat, I don't know, and then you can flip it. I think it's a lot easier. Not so much on the technical side, because obviously you gotta learn, you gotta put time in, you gotta buy the equipment,
I
you
would
gotta
say
sit
there's
down, you
there's
gotta.
definitely a lot of luck involved. So I say that's also a big factor. Having the right person see the right thing at the right time.
Oh yeah, man. I can talk about that for an eternity too. It's
Yeah.
how I view rap now and hip hop, and as a whole. Uh, since all of us are doing the same thing and trying to achieve the same goals. Um, I believe that if some people will always try to better themselves, being a rapper, but it takes so much for them to like actually put the time in, you know what I'm saying? So like compared to like a producer, you can always get on YouTube, you can always learn stuff, but it's like you're in school, you know what I'm saying? And then like rappers, you have to like progress like solely for yourself. I treat it like an art, you know what I'm saying? Like a sport, you know.
Yeah.
You didn't get Yeah, you didn't get to the point where you were because you watched a video, you know what I'm saying? Like you had to literally start
Oh yeah. When
from
I
the
go
ground.
back to high school and listen to the shit I made in high school, I'm like, oh yeah, let me keep this right where it's at, because it's like, wow, like I surprised even myself. I'm like, damn, dog. But it
Yeah,
also,
it's
I mean, with
definitely.
more life experiences, you have more things that you can talk about, or ways that you kind of change your view on things. That also helps.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and it's like you gotta put the time in. So like it kind of weighs on both hands. When I say easier, I think it's just like to an extent, because like a rapper just doesn't get you know put in somebody's top 5 because they sound good on the damn song. They
Right.
slowly progress to get to that point to be somebody worth mentioning, at least in top category talk and conversations like that. And then same thing with producers, and like Timberland and everybody else. Even your own Pharrell, he didn't get there just watching videos and listening to music. Like
Yeah,
he had to
he
get in
got put
there
on
and.
because he produced for Teddy Riley. That song, Rump Shaker, I think back when he was like 16 or 17. Um,
Yeah, and
I
then
mean, put the beat out and got put on, and then you know, the Neptunes came about.
yep, and then also speaking of the Neptunes, that's another underrated actual group. Even though it was like Pharrell rapping and singing the most, but like because I have their albums here, actually hard disk and everything, and growing up listening to that is like kind of like alternative hip hop, if that makes any sense, because
Yeah,
it
it was
wasn't
a
like
real different sound. Star Trek.
yeah, and
I mean,
yeah, and I like that. I like that about them, that it wasn't the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really different. You know, like
yeah.
kind of like how like hard rock, and then you have alternative rock. It's still rock, but it's like wait, it's
Well,
not exactly
Virginia
rock.
Beach had Virginia Beach had a sound for a good probably decade. We had a sound, and then it just went dead, and then you heard nothing. But there was,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't remember it too well because I was an infant, like I said, toddler.
yeah. Same thing goes for Florida too. Like there's only a certain amount of people that come out of Florida that uh get that traction and get that gain. I would say like the last few have only been Triple X and Kodak really like really
Yeah,
really really made a name for themselves.
Smoke Perk fell
And
off,
then
Lil Pump fell off.
yeah,
Melly, I
yeah,
like
it's like they
Melly.
come and they go.
I like Melly.
Melly's
Uh,
okay. Melly's okay.
T Pain was another
So I
one of the
mean, like
first
it's
people I
different.
listened to. Also, T Pain is a legend. I love Pain.
Yeah, T Pain's good too, man. T Pain can actually sing, which is great too. Like I watched a lot of his. I don't know if you ever heard of like Tiny Desk
Oh yeah,
on YouTube.
NPR, absolutely. Did you see
Yeah,
him on The
they
Masked
had
Singer?
yeah yeah
Oh
they
man,
had
the monster. Oh, that was the. That was
they
crazy.
when they had him on the desk concert, and he was up there singing with no autotune. It was mind blowing to me. Like
Yeah, I
I'm
never
sitting
heard
there,
him do that.
yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking like, why did you put autotune? Like, I mean, dude, you can actually sing. That's what's crazy, you know?
But a
Like,
lot of R&B,
but
a lot of R&B artists can actually sing. He stood out because of the autotune, and he was the first to do
yeah,
it
it was that
well.
whole like that time and segment in the music genre of hip hop and rap, like when he brought that out, like to the point where it was like a whole new wave.
Oh, it was
It fit
great.
yeah, it fit him perfect because he was
It was
coming
like
out with hits
him.
every.
It was like him, and then Wayne, and then Kanye, and then it just went. And so you can't name anybody who hasn't used it now.
Oh yeah, they're still using it to this day, and like it's set like a staple in the hip hop community and the
I'm
rap
not a
game.
fan of
Like
it too much. I mean, not that I don't enjoy songs with it, but I personally, in my own music, I can't really rap with it. You know, I can't sing, so it helps if I have to do a hook. But I would prefer somebody else to do a hook for me. I don't even like writing hooks.
yeah, facts. Me either.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it, and I got to get better at that. But that's we're always
Yeah,
improving.
that's that's a tough one for me too. Like I'll have an idea, and I'm like, okay, like I hear a beat, I'm like, okay, well maybe I could talk about some some past on here, something, or
Right,
like some daily struggles, and then it's like, okay, you get there, you open the book, you're playing the beat, you got it on loop, and Pro Tools is running, whatever,
right.
and you're like, okay, and 2 hours in, you have nothing on the paper. You're like, I
Yep,
go outside, take a smoke break, man. This is
yep.
crazy. Then you come back in, another 2 hours go by, and you're like, fuck it. And that's another
Nothing.
reason why. Yeah, that's another reason why Angel is like 90% on my SoundCloud, because he can come up with a hook all the time. Like
Yeah, I
he'll say
love
some
that, man.
stuff.
He's already done a couple for me. Just
Yeah,
fucking around in the
you
studio.
see,
I got a hook. Let me lay one down. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll go.
because like when we get in there, it's like he'll come up with a hook, and he'll say it for me, and I'll be like, maybe we can change the words around or something like that, and then he'll be like, okay, well I'm gonna change this and change that, and I'll put my feedback in it, then he'll put my feedback into his already version, then he'll respit it, and I'll be like, okay, that's it, we're gonna run with that one.
Yeah, I love that about Angel. He doesn't try to like tell you what to do, but more or less like he he's somebody who should be an example of what constructive criticism should look like. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, most definitely.
he he's gonna get your shit right without telling you it sounds fucked up. He'll be like, all right, well, let's see how this. Let's try this. It's not like, bro, you gotta redo it. That's terrible. Let's try this. Let's see how this sounds. and I like that a lot.
Yeah. He's definitely musically inclined, very, very much. And you know, like I said, we've been doing this stuff for so long, man.
Oh yeah,
But
that last podcast was too funny.
what,
I
what,
listened to
which
it
one?
twice.
Which one?
The one with you and Angel. I listened to it twice when I was at work, dog. I was just like, oh man, y'all are talking about some funny ass shit. I was like laughing
Yeah,
like out
man.
loud. I was by myself, just dying, dog. Like,
Yeah, we got stories for days. He's
oh
definitely
yeah.
gonna be back on another one. I'm gonna try to get him on like a throwback Thursday kind of like special deal, and we're just gonna talk about all types of memories we have, because man, we have stacks and stacks of like dumb stuff that we done, or like music, or how terrible our raps was. And oh man, we have it's forever. But let's see, we talked about the music, we talked about where you're from. Let me ask you, I'm gonna get slightly personal, not too personal, but um what or who inspires you the most?
um, what I mean, what inspires me the most is really just, I mean, honestly, I could say right now at this point in my life, I don't really give a fuck if I even make a dollar off of this. But someday when I have kids or whatever, I want to be able to
Hmm.
like have a body of work or a couple bodies of work, or even if, regardless of what happens in my future and who hears it or how famous or not famous I may get, I want to have something for the future that I can be like, look, like I did this back in my day. Like
Yeah.
that's what inspires me. I'm always thinking about the future. I mean, I've always known I wanted kids, want to get married. Like I've always like collected like vintage things. Like I'm a big vinyl guy. I buy my favorite album from every single artist that I really like. So if there's like somebody like Drake, like I have Take Care on vinyl because that's his best album. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Doggy
yeah.
Style on vinyl because that's his best album. I like thinking about the future and keeping older things so they can appreciate in value, but not just value, but just appreciate in sentimental value. Um, and so that's really why I'm doing music right now, is because I just like to do it. It's just and I also feel like if I didn't do music, what would I be doing? Probably sitting home smoking weed, getting drunk. If I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get fucked up, I might as well have something to show for it.
Yeah, true. I can dig that. That's a dope outlook on it, like giving something to show off when you get older, like, hey, this was your old boy back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like all
Yeah,
this
your
stuff you
old
got
man.
going on now. Yeah, all the stuff you got here and now, it ain't got nothing on me. Listen to this stuff I got for you, bro. This is your
Can you
pops.
imagine
You
rap
know
in
what I'm
20
saying?
years?
No, I
Be a
can't.
whole
It's probably
different
gonna be crazy as hell. Yeah, it's probably gonna be
crazy.
crazy as hell. Um, um, if uh, if you had the chance to collab with any rapper or any artist right now, they came through the studio right now, who would it be?
Man, I would say Pharrell just because, but like I've already mentioned him, and he's more of a producer than anything. I mean, he can definitely rap and sing. Um,
Yeah.
but I would say somebody that's, I don't know if you know. Do you know who Smino is?
No.
Smino. Well, he's got an album called Black Swan,
Hmm.
that he put out a few years ago, and he's got another one that came out recently. I forget what it's called, but if you ever get a chance, look him up. Somebody like him, because he's kind of like a newer but older artist. Like he has a really unique sound. Like I would say X if he wasn't dead. R.I.P. Like I mean, X was so I liked X so much. I was on X since I think right before Look at Me came out, and I was like, damn, this guy, like you said in that other podcast with Direct Link,
Yeah.
like he could really do it all, like Juice World. And I mean, and Pharrell's somebody like that too. So basically, I guess I can't really name one person, but somebody that has that kind of versatility. Somebody that could sing, rap, go crazy, make the
Yeah.
beat, you know, do an old school kind of vibe, whatever. But definitely somebody that has good like lyrics. I mean, some other names I could throw out there: Wale, Big Sean, uh,
Hmm.
you know, even somebody like Yellow Wolf, man. I mean, Yellow Wolf's dope.
Yeah, Yellow Wolf is hella slept on. I love how he just he his creativeness is just it's out there, man. It's like, it's just not
Yeah,
recognized a lot. And um I like a lot of his work too, even from start to his last album.
and you were talking about, and this is also something I wanted to bring up. I'm I mean I made a little list because I was listening to those podcasts, and you guys talked about a lot of rappers, man. But if I could name one person that was crazy underrated, that got his career just cratered, just destroyed, that would have been a legend, like how y'all were talking about how Big Pun died too early, Biggie died too early.
Yeah.
I gotta throw out Cannabis, dog. Cannabis.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen. I mean, I don't know, man. I listened to like some of his shit, and I'm just like, this man was criminally underrated. I mean, he's like a black Eminem almost. You know what I mean? Like he was Eminem if Eminem was black. Like his first album was just so insane. I mean, you listen to songs like Buckingham Palace, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on right now? But I mean, his career got destroyed. But I'd love to collab with somebody like him, man. Somebody that could just do it, just snap on something, and just have all these rhymes and this technical ability while still simultaneously presenting a concept that makes sense. Not somebody that's just rapping for the sake of rapping and rhyming words, which is also cool. But like I said earlier, it gets boring after a while.
Yeah, yeah. I respect Cannabis. He definitely an underrated pioneer um of hip hop. Definitely lyrical. I believe um I just think he was never recognized as what he
I mean, he's
was.
just LL Cool J. I mean, what do you think would happen? And then Eminem gone in his ass. I mean, bro. I mean, you got. I mean, even MGK didn't get it that bad. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
if you think you got it, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I mean, it's either you do it and you get murdered, or you don't do it and you get called weak. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
No,
what do I do?
I,
I don't
I
knock the
respect.
man.
I, res- I respect MGK for what he did. I think it was very brave of him to say what he said to Eminem. I mean, who the fuck was gonna do that?
And then
I mean, nobody.
yeah, and then he can say that it was him. You know, and the
Yeah.
diss wasn't even half that bad. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, I think over the past few years we've all listened to Kill Shot way more and been like, oh, like this is the one that, yeah, Eminem definitely won. It's like Pusha T versus Drake, dog. Like I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I love Drake, but man, that was just brutal.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Well, Drake's not a battle rapper, so
but I have to say though, Drake's beat that he responded to Pusha T on, because Pusha T just used Jay Z's beat from the story of OJ.
yeah.
That beat, what was it called? I forget what Drake's response was called. Um, but that smooth ass jazz beat that he was rapping over,
Hmm.
way better beat in the battle, hands down, way better beat. I love that. That's more my kind of beat than anything.
Yeah.
I
I
just
mean, like I said, because I'm a huge Drake fan too. I don't want to sound like a fanboy because I've been talked about him like on 10 different episodes. But
yeah, I know, man. I've been listening to it,
I
man. But
give
hey, Drake's a legend, man.
I
Drake's
give
a
I
legend.
give I give credit where it's due, and I think it's more of like, I give him credit for even attempting and doing it.
Drake's not a battle rapper. He's just not. That's not how he came up. That's not his thing. That's not his lane. Drake is, in my opinion, Drake is more of a, I guess figurehead might be kind of a crude word, but Drake can adapt to any situation. You put him in a room with some Rastas, and he's gonna make Rasta music and make it sound good. He's a
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
um, he's a very adaptable artist, and that's his biggest asset.
Yeah, yeah, he's very, 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 very versatile. He can do a lot, and just it's just like whatever he touches just turns to gold, bro. It's just like he can't go wrong. Just when we thought we seen it
Yeah,
all, he comes out with a stupid TikTok dance song and it goes platinum. Like, come on, bro.
yeah, and I would say he's kind of gone downhill in recent years because he's just gone so far to the sing songy type music. I mean, and that's cool, but man, there is nothing like when Take Care and what was the one with like with the sky when he had like Shania Aiko on it.
Nothing was the same.
Africa. Nothing was the same and Take Care. Oh man, I mean,
It's good music, man. It's good
like
music.
man, I remember the first time I found out who Drake was. I think I was like 10 or 11, and this girl I knew, she was like, "Yeah, I was on Omegle, and I saw Drake." I was like, "Who's Drake?" She's like, "Here, listen to this," and she played oh God, what was it? Maybe it was "Proud of You," or it was something. It might have been something a little older. It was off "So Far Gone." That's what it was. It was one of those songs off "So Far Gone." And I was just like, "Yo, who is this?
Yeah,
This guy is like crazy." And none of us would have realized, like, going into the future, like he would have become literally bigger than every other artist in history practically. Um, but whenever I talk about like my top five, or I talk about like artists that I'm really into, I always would put Wayne above Drake, because you listen to Drake, you listen to Nicki,
hmm
you hear Wayne throughout all their songs, regardless of what era. I mean, Wayne is like their father, literally. I mean, he put them on. He showed them the ropes. I mean, it all kind of goes back to Wayne. So while Drake, I would say, is definitely a more successful artist, even though Wayne is. I mean, come on, Wayne, but
Wayne is Wayne.
Wayne really kind of created them, like, for real. And also all the people that do auto tune in their raps, like you guys were talking about on the other podcast. Like that was a good point that I heard brought up. I think Direct brought it up. He was like, like Thug, um, people like him, they rap in auto tune, and
Yeah.
T-Pain sang in auto tune, but then Wayne started rapping in auto tune, and that became a thing. Wayne did a lot. People forget, like, his music now is kind of like, well,
Yeah, it's
oh,
kind
it's
of like,
Wayne, you know.
eh.
Codeine in my liver, codeine in my cup. Okay, we get it.
We get it,
You've been
Wayne.
drinking lean
We get it.
15 years, dog. 20 years, dog. It's a miracle you're still alive, but thank God he is.
Yeah, it's like, bro, okay, we get it, bro. We get it. And then he coming in with the lighter flick still, like, bro, we got it on like the third
Oh,
dedication, bro. Let it go. Let it go. I'd rather
oh man. I like No Ceilings. That's my favorite tape by
I'd
him.
rather Wayne just come in the song just and say some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh,
We on the Yamaha Chrome that 1100.
you know what I'm
He
saying?
used to be so stupid, man. Wayne used to just be stupid, dumb, funny, man. Now it's like you know what to expect, And he did that little skateboard thing for a long time, and he did a rock. Then he do like a rock song, and like the video, he's like on a rooftop in Miami playing the guitar. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, man. It gets
Oh man,
it gets a little crazy.
I love Wayne, man. Always have. A lot of people in Virginia don't even like Wayne, and I didn't listen to a lot of Wayne. Nah, I ain't a Wayne fan like that.
Yeah.
Damn. Ooh.
So since we touched on it, this real quick without dragging on for another 2 hours, who who is Kraze's top five?
Oh man. I mean, I'll put them in order. Um, Number one, I would say is Jay. I love Jay, and I
Yeah.
wasn't even a big Jay fan a couple years ago. But shout out to TG, man. Shout out to my old coworker, my good friend TG, man. Shout out to Dodge City. He 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 was he was a Jay fan since like as Jay was in the in the Hawaiian shirts and rapping all fast and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he showed me is it 22 Twos? Is that song? That really old Jay song? And he showed me a few more things from Jay, and I was just like, and then from then on out, he we would be in the work truck, and all day we just on the aux cord he'd play nothing but pretty much just Hove, just straight Hove, like
Yeah.
listen to the Black album, listen to all a bunch of his classic works, and I mean I even got the Black album on vinyl because I think that's his best album.
It is.
But man, Jay Z is just, I mean, untouchable. Top, like number one, no doubt. Number two for me would be M. I mean, that's just M's got like three classic albums at least.
Yeah.
He has a way with words unlike anybody else. He's just so fucking insanely talented at what he does. And nowadays, I would say he's kind of fallen off, but he still got it, bro. You can't diss him. I mean, he started as a battle rapper. He's gonna die as a battle rapper, bro. You can't go against him. He will
Yeah.
destroy you. Um, number three, for me, I would put as Biggie. Um,
Okay.
while he didn't have a lot of work, the the music he put out was just like, again, somebody that makes you go back and listen to what he said. Like, and Biggie was amazing at telling stories,
Mm-hmm.
just like Nas was, just like Pac was. I put Pac at number six. I would put Nas at number four. Um, Nas is just and Nas. The craziest thing about Nas, man, that I didn't even realize until recently, like Nas has sounded the exact same since he was 15. Like you
Mm-hmm.
listen to Nas at 15, and he's like, I'm waving automatic guns at nuns and all this crazy shit, and then you listen to his shit he did with DJ Khaled not too long ago, and you're like, he sounds the exact same. Like he hasn't,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
voice hasn't, like he hasn't changed. He's still just completely solid. Um, and then number five, I would put Wayne. Um, I love Wayne, man. He's fun, man. He's done so much for the hip hop community because when it comes to my top five, I don't specifically just put people there because of the songs I like. Like I probably like more Eminem songs than Jay Z songs,
Yeah.
and I probably like more Wayne songs than Biggie songs. But that's not Biggie's fault because he didn't have as much music, or it's not Jay Z's fault because he made certain types of music back in the day. But you also have to think about the cultural impact and what they've done for hip hop as a whole. I mean, and that's just me because of when I grew up. I mean, I'm sure if I grew up 10, 15 years, or I was born 10, 15 years before when I was born. I was born 98.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd probably have people like LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people like that who are insanely talented rappers, but because their era doesn't really fit with mine, I'm not going to put them on that list as top five. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I feel you. That's a decent top five. I could rock with that five. Not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad. As long as you ain't had no nonsense on there, else I had to cut the podcast off.
No, man. I mean, I like some of the nonsense though. I do. I like some of the nonsense because I'm young and I can relate to it. All the drugged out and just depression and shit. I get where a lot of those people are coming from. Maybe more so than somebody who is 10 to 15 years older than me. I mean, like I heard it. I don't know if it was Ti who said it, but he was like, we made like drug dealer music, and then a few years later it changed into like drug user music. I mean, that is really a lot of what you hear now is the younger generation of rap is a lot about the drugs and just how everybody's just fucked up in the head and depressed. But I mean, that's really how it is, dog.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
mean, my coworker just died, dude, from a drug overdose. He was 23 years old. I
Yeah,
mean,
I just had somebody die, and he was only 20. I believe he was 26. Same thing.
yeah. I mean, but this dude would get off and he would mix lean with alcohol, with Percocets, Xanax, weed, cigarettes, anything he could get his hands on, and just go hard for hours. And it's like, there's days I wish I could do that shit. And God knows I did some shit like that back in the day. And I'm lucky to be alive, but I don't want to end up like a lot of these people you see, like Juice World, like, and that scares me sometimes, about getting fame, about getting money, like it might, but it's just all mental, man. You know, um, I feel like not having to worry about where to rest your head, or if you could fix your car if it breaks, or pay your bills or some shit, is a good start to being less depressed in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean that
yeah. Most
certainly helps.
definitely though, because it's I think stress is the biggest factor when it comes to like drug use and like you,
But you get stressed out being a famous artist too. I
that
mean, the
yeah,
stress
that's
of
true
having to
too. But
perform and
you also gotta remember the access to those drugs become a lot easier too,
yeah, man. I mean, and I've
because you got more money to spend. You're saying you're traveling the world.
yeah,
You know, the women, the fame, it all comes into play, and like you're now more open and more access to it than you were before. You might know somebody down the block or something here and there, but dog, you put a couple $1 million in your pocket. Come on, bro. Come on.
yeah.
The
No,
temptation, the
I
temptation is there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
no doubt.
yeah,
But even the people who are super rich end up getting the fake shit. I mean, God, man, look what happened to Mac, man. So fucked up.
yeah. So it's like you can't you try to get away, but then like getting away sometimes it ends up, you get away for real. You don't come back. So it's like, do you really risk it?
Pretty much stick to whiskey and cigarettes now. I smoke my Newport, drink some Fireball, dog. Oh man, done some bad shit.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
you
It's
know?
hard, dog. So like, I hope and pray
Yeah.
that everybody that goes through some shit, they find a better way to deal with it. Cause I'm quite frankly sick and tired of dealing with it, because it's like, if you got demons and you got problems and you're trying to find a way out, like there's so much more you can
Yeah.
do. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you can't enjoy yourself. I'm not telling you that you can't. I'm not trying to show you or tell you how to live your life. Just know the consequences. That's the
Well,
biggest
and,
thing.
and and back in the day, like, I mean, because you're about
I'm 33.
10 years older than me.
Yeah, about
Okay,
10
so
years.
you're 11 years older. So the people that would die, the artists that were dying, they weren't dying so much from drugs. I mean, what? Pocket Biggie got shot. Pun died because I guess he was too fat or something. I don't know. He was just
Yeah,
he was just going too
yeah,
hard.
too big.
There weren't too many people. I mean, you had, I think, well, Nate Dogg had a heart attack. DJ Screw died from lean, right? Um, but there weren't really that many people in rap that were dying from drugs, or I mean, and I don't think as many people were dying back then either. I mean, now it's like there's a lot of people dying, and you can attribute that to the fact that hip hop's taken over a little more, become a little more popular. There's a lot more rappers out there now. But I'm just looking at this like, damn, dog. Like, I mean, shit, man. I can remember where I was at every time I seen on Instagram somebody else died.
Mm-hmm.
Juice World. I was sitting in a Chipotle when I found out Mac died. I mean, and X got shot up. I mean, it's just like, god damn, dude.
Yeah, it's
And these
like
people were so fucking talented.
yeah, it's like it's one of those mysteries, because you never know. You gotta just and then when it hits you, it's like, holy crap. And it's not even that people that you don't know, or people that you do know, or famous people or celebrities or whatever. Like, you grow an attachment to some of these people, because music in itself, it can get you through a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I've talked about it on.
Yeah, like you were talking about.
Yeah, I talked
Man,
about
you
I
went through
talked
a really
about it on.
dark time.
Yeah, I talked about it on
Yeah.
previous podcasts and stuff like that. So it's like, people would be like, "Oh, like, why are you upset that somebody died that you don't even know?" I'm like, bruh, like, you don't understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's emotions and
I've had a connection to this person through the way their music has affected my life based on what I've been going through in my life.
yeah, and it's always to me, it's always a comparison because he made a song that I can relate to. That means he went through it. You see the connection? It's like
Right,
now I'm not the only
right,
one. I'm not the only one. So it's like
right,
when stuff like that happens, it's like, it's a shocker because not only that it's somebody, famous, that's not just like the bulk of it. It's more the fact that it's surprising you, and then now you have to be able to live with the fact that one of your favorite artists can't make music no more. You won't hear nothing new from this man till the day you
right,
die. And that kind of
right.
that kind of fucks with you because it's like when you listen to,
It's harder when they don't have a body of work either. I mean,
yeah, it's
like
tough.
Mac had a body of work. I remember being in middle school, through high school, through after high school. But people like X and Juice, it's like and Pete. I mean, they were all like 20 or 21. I mean, they weren't even at their prime yet. I would say.
Yeah, they weren't even grown yet. They're fresh out of high school,
Uh,
basically, almost.
Basically, they're my age. Dog. All these people are dying around my age.
It's crazy, man. And the thing is, you never know. You never know, man. The way the world is nowadays, and with everything that's going on, it's 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 a coin flip, man. You could go outside tomorrow. I mean, knock on wood. Go outside tomorrow, go check the mail, turn around, and the truck hit you. You know what I'm saying? Or this damn COVID virus got everybody acting crazy. You could be walking out of
That's
Walmart.
why. That's why I ain't trying to live my life scared. That's why I'm still coming out here every week, trying to do something with my life. I get up, go to work, get off work, and make some music at least once a week or something creative, something that you can keep for the future. That's just not another day where you're getting drunk and watching YouTube videos until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's not even that. You keep yourself busy, you keep yourself sane, you keep yourself out of trouble, man. Like I can't stress enough that like if you guys like not even just us talking on the podcast, but like anybody that's listening or has gotten this far, it's like if you found something and you like that, don't give up on it. Like it's that simple. It's that it's that
Yeah,
simple because you don't understand what that does.
it'll keep you sane. It'll keep you grounded
Yeah,
in times.
it keeps what
Yeah.
I like to say. It keeps your soul clean. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
get to do something that you enjoy, and you cut everything else out. Because how many times have you gone to the studio with Angel, and everything that you thought about the entire day is no longer in your mind? You know what I'm saying? It's a getaway.
And it's just like, all right, this is what I paid for. This is what we're doing. I want to make the most of my time.
hmm So, but yeah, man, that's basically how we're gonna view it, and Um, we're gonna wrap things up right now. I'm gonna hit you with these rapid fire questions. First
Oh yeah,
first
been waiting for these.
thing first thing that comes to mind uh would be your answer. So we're gonna start off with simple. Gold or silver?
Go
What's your favorite sport?
tennis.
If you can visit any place in the world right now, where would it be?
Hmm. Germany.
Really? Germany?
Yeah, that's where my grandma's from. She came here during World War II,
There you go.
so I've always wanted to go there and kind of see what it's like.
There you go. That's dope too. That's dope too. A little bit of backstory too.
Or even Japan. My parents grew up there in Japan for their childhood. That'd be cool to see Japan, Okinawa.
There you go. That's dope too. I always wanted to go to Japan too. Big on anime and Pokemon and shit. So it's like, I always wanted to go
Yeah, I
there.
mean, I grew up in a white family, but we had a lot of a lot of customs from Japan though, because it's like they always take your shoes off when you walk around the house, keep a rice cooker,
That's
things like that. It
that's
was so funny.
That's dope. That's
Hey,
dope. Um, what's your favorite Halloween movie? Mm,
Halloween movie?
yeah, random,
Oh
random,
man,
random as hell.
Charlie Brown Halloween, man. Every year as a kid, man. Always every year coming on. Cause I didn't grow up with no cable. We couldn't afford cable. We just had regular like ABC, CBS, PBS, Charlie Brown Halloween special, man. For sure.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I was the same way until I got a little bit older and got my own TV, and then we got the cable in my room and stuff like that. I had basic cable till I think I was like, shit. I want to say
I was
almost
always on
15.
YouTube since it came out in like '05. YouTube. Well, man, I was like, oh, we don't have cable. I'm hopping on the XP Dell and watching some YouTube. You know.
All right, all right. If if you could space travel, which planet would you land on?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna say Mars, cause I mean, it's like we already know so much about it, so it would be cool to kind of see like
Check it
what's
out,
really
right?
going on. We're so close. We're so
We're
close
so
to
close,
finding it.
but so far, right?
Like, and so it's been like my entire life. That's all I've heard. There's like, no, wait, no, there is, no, there's not. Like, I want to know. Shout out to Elon Musk.
See some aliens up there. Yeah, Elon up there
Yeah,
putting
fact.
up Teslas and shit. Like, come on, bro. um, what are the top three things on your bucket list?
Um, uh, top three things. Number one would to 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 find to be in a good relationship, like a solid, good, long-lasting relationship with a girl.
Okay,
That would be nice,
I could
you
dig
know,
that.
instead of all this bullshit.
Yeah,
Um,
it does get old,
number
bro. Trust
two,
me.
number two on my bucket list, man. I want to fix my donk, man. I got a '76 Caprice Classic, man, but it's stuck in Virginia at on my dad's property because the fucking tranny blew out
Mm.
after I got the engine rebuilt. Got 1,000 miles on the rebuilt engine, man. But the tranny's blown. I want my donk back, man. I had that bitch since I was 17, and I love that fucking car, man. I love my Chevy. And number three would be like on my bucket list, like just to like you asked me earlier, like if I could travel somewhere, like go somewhere like that has like some sentimental value to me, like Germany or Japan, and kind of see like
Yeah,
where some of my family's from, you know.
yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
I like that. I like
yeah.
that. What was your favorite movie growing up?
Forest Gump.
What?
I just love the way like I love the way, and it's not for the reason you might think, but I love it's not so much the movie like the story behind it, but I just love the way that like they fit him into like all this shit that happened in real life.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like he goes through the decades, and it's like, and you're just sitting there watching it, like, okay, all right, that's when that happened. That's okay. You're in Vietnam or whatever, and I'm like, okay, this is a cool ass movie. I always like Force. Oh, and another one I really really enjoyed because it put me on to Lauryn Hill as a
Yeah.
kid. I love Lauryn Hill. The Sister Act too.
Okay.
That is
I dig it.
Whoopi Goldberg. That's that's a dope movie. Anybody who grew up back then probably knows about it. That's a dope movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic. What makes Kraze angry?
People that people that ghost, man. People that you talk to and you start to kind of get in a good relationship with, and then they
Yeah.
fucking disappear for reasons unknown. I don't fuck with that, man. That's why I don't trust too many people, because people just literally like just disappear, and it's like, oh, all right, well,
I feel you on
fuck you
that. I
then.
feel you
Like,
on that.
yeah, I can't stand that. I'd rather have somebody try to fight me, or somebody tell me why they're pissed off, or say something, dog. I just can't stand people here.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I've had a couple of those in my lifetime too, bro. Like we were just cool like 2 weeks ago, and where the hell did you
Yeah,
go? It's like what the hell's going on? And then they come back like when they need something or some shit. It's like, oh okay.
I had one for you actually. I had a question for you. I didn't know if you already answered this or not in one of your other podcasts, but I remember you were talking about comedians for a while,
Yeah.
and I really liked that segment because I was like, because my top three comedians would probably be um Dave Chappelle, uh 1980s Eddie Murphy, and 1970s Robin Williams. So I was gonna ask you like what your top three are. I don't know if you already said that though, but
I think I did, and if I can remember, I think
I think Dave Chappelle was up
yeah, Dave Chappelle was definitely one. It was Dave Chappelle, um, OG Steve Harvey, and
there. Oh yeah, OG Steve Harvey.
yeah, and I can't remember my second one. I think it might have been Martin Lawrence.
I think it was. I think it was Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might have switched it up, but I know Steve Harvey and Dave Chappelle is definitely on there. I love Dave
Oh
Chappelle.
yeah.
Hands man,
Legend, man.
that's another podcast. I could talk about his whole TV show for decades, bro. Decades.
I'm still watching clips from his show.
I got
Uh,
I got
I, Joe Rogan, you crazy? I'm like,
I still got the DVD set, bro. So I be on it heavy, bro.
oh, you got the OG shit,
Yeah,
the
I be
original.
on it heavy, bro.
I was a little too young to watch that when that dropped. But I was watching Fear Factor though, and it's still crazy to me now to think the Fear Factor guy runs the most successful podcast in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy how things can change, man. Like in an instant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are two things that you would want to change about yourself?
Man, I want to stop smoking cigarettes, man. Shit is bad for you. I
Facts.
love them, but I hate them.
Facts.
I love them, but I hate them. But I can't give up these Newports right now, man. I'm a little too stressed at work. I ain't got shit to do at work. Another thing, probably I would change my outlook. Like it may not seem like it based on this little hour and a half we're doing, but I kind of tend to have pretty pessimistic outlook on things, and that's not always a good thing. I mean, but I usually play it off with like humor. Not to get too personal, but usually I kind of have like a pretty pessimistic outlook on a lot of shit, just based on what I've been through, and
Hmm.
I try to stay positive, but it gets hard sometimes. Like it's gonna end badly, but fuck it, you gotta keep trying, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. And to wrap things up, last question:
All
Who
right,
who do you admire the most?
my mom, man.
Facts.
My
Facts.
mom, man.
Shout outs
She
to
she she
old
she
mama.
she raised me like 75% of the time. My mom raised me, and my sister, making like $10 an hour, still paying a mortgage.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, eh, just a strong lady, man. Real strong, real smart, and moral and honest person. So I would definitely my mom,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Shout outs to the mamas out there, all the mamas. My mama too. If you listen to this, mama, I love you too. God damn it.
Yes, sir.
But that about wraps everything up, fam. If you wanna
All right.
give any additional shout outs, your social plugs, where they can follow you at, where they can hear your music at, just go.
Man, I'll give a couple little shout outs, man. My album, it's not out yet officially.
Yeah.
My album's it's gonna be called Soliloquy,
Okay.
and it's gonna be out on all platforms within the next month or two. I gotta get over to Angel, figure that out. Shout out my boy D Guapo. Been rocking with him for a minute. His album Mind Over Hearts is on iTunes,
Okay.
Spotify, SoundCloud. Um, Shout out Ron, you a genius. That's my producer I've been working with since high school. He's done a lot of work with me since the beginning. And most definitely shout out to Evil Eye. Evil Eye Category 5 out now. Fent TG. Those are my OGs that did a lot of put me onto a lot of shit. Um, and man, of course, Angel, man. But that goes without saying. We've been name dropping him this whole goddamn podcast.
Yeah,
Ain't
man.
that right, Angel? Yeah. So man. But a lot of good people I met here in Florida, man. So
That's what's up, man. And where can everybody follow you at?
954 Kraze. That's my Instagram. That's like the only social media I use, and like you were saying on your last podcast, shit, I don't even post on there anymore because like I work. I didn't have a life in high school. I was posting every day, and now I'm like, bitch, I work. I ain't doing shit on Instagram. I need to get better at it. I ain't got no Facebook. I don't be on TikTok or whatever the fuck. I mean, I just, but yeah, 954 Kraze, and like I said, my album is gonna be called Soliloquy, and it's gonna be out damn near probably, I don't even know, probably like a month from now. We're gonna talk.
Yeah, we're just gonna say coming soon. We gonna say coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Real soon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But all right, man. I just want to thank you for stopping by. It was a good episode. Got to kick it up. You know what I'm saying? Chop it up. I appreciate you stopping by.
And, thank you, and it's cool. I was saying earlier, like, I'm probably the first person on here that you haven't known for 15 years. So a little different.
Yeah, that's why. Hey, yeah. I'm open for everybody, bro. You feel me? So it doesn't really matter,
That's cool, man.
So, but it was a pleasure to have you. Keep me updated on the album, and
all right,
we'll get you back on here when you drop it, so we can talk about some songs and stuff, and concepts and everything like that. So, for that, we're gonna wrap things up. Gonna catch y'all boys on the next one.
See you in the next one, man. Peace.
Peace.